Okay. This is my PowerPoint. My name is Courtney Smith, and the title of this presentation is When Life Hands You Lemons. And I don't know if everything's going to work right. Kind of transition from a Mac to a PC in about 30 seconds. So we'll see if something happens, then we'll just go with it. So anyway, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm in a presentation like this, I like to get the program and like to see, okay, where are we? How much time do we have left? When are we going to get out of here? And whether it's at church, which is kind of bad, or, you know, this is a typical leadership conference that I frequent often. But this is basically what I did. So I put a synopsis of my presentation dispersed throughout the presentation. That way you know where we are, where we're going to get out, and since I'm the last person, when we're going to go home. So first thing, synopsis. This presentation is about opportunities. Opportunities is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to be asking for a little bit of audience involvement. Now we have a great, lively group today, and it's huge. We're filling the seats before packed, so it's going to be great. Asterisks, I kind of threw out the presentation. It may seem kind of random, and more prompters for me. Initially it was an insert joke here kind of prompt, but I'm not that funny, so I'm not going to do that. So again, presentations about opportunities. What I do kind of, the way that I set this up is I made opportunity into the word an anagram, and that way I spun words off of opportunity, and then, anyway, you'll see. So when life hands you lemons, what's the typical response to that? Egg lemonade, okay. Point being, that's a typical response, but I'm sure a few other people said other things, and, you know, you hear like throw the lemon at someone, or, you know, there are other responses. So essentially what I'm going to be saying is, in life hands you lemons, you get to do whatever you want with them. So, bio about me. Alright, my name is Courtney Smith. I'm a senior here at Carroll Senior High School. Well, I'm not here, but I used to come here. And I'm going to Baylor University. These are the three most common questions or answers that I have to answer whenever I meet anyone these days. And I did it earlier this morning. It's, oh, you're a senior. Where are you going to school? Well, I'm going to Baylor. And then occasionally it's what do you want to study? And today maybe one answer, and then next week will be different. So, no worries. I'm a typical overachiever, so that's probably why I'm talking about opportunities, because I frequently exercise the opportunities that I've been given, so it's kind of part of my specialty. I'm a huge, I guess, participant in student council. I've been in student council since 7th grade, and it is probably my favorite thing about high school. Typically, though, student council is sitting behind a podium, and so I'm not going to be teaching about leadership today, and I'm going to be speaking about the podium. So I've kind of tailored a response that's more geared toward not just student leaders, because I am typically the student sitting in the audience, listening to a speaker, talking to a huge number of student leaders. My favorite thing about student council is the state organization, TEDx, Texas Association of Student Councils, and we go to an annual conference every year that almost 5,000 people attend. And I sit in the audience, and we're 5,000 of the greatest student leaders in the world. That's what they tell us anyway. And so they always like to throw things at us about how we're the leaders of the world, we have to change. And that's not, I mean, not that I'm not talking to the leaders of the world, but that's not what you guys are here for. So, anyway, free time question mark, still talking about me, sorry. And I don't have much. I work 2 jobs, I take a billion AP classes like most of you do, and I just go through life not really spending much time on myself. I don't sit down much. So free time question mark, that was part of the joke. So. Okay, info. Okay, the meat of my presentation, opportunities, back to opportunities. The first thing, oh, it's going to do that. Okay, well, sorry. Opportunity is supposed to go away, the word on top is supposed to come up as a thing. This first word is open. The word open is within the word opportunities. You're going to open your eyes, open your mind, and open your heart. And that sounds really cliche. But here's the deal. So the first thing I need you guys to do, Mom, you told me this story, but you need to imagine a goose inside of a bottle. This bottle is really, really thick, and it's about this high. The base of it is about the width of a clothing thing. So the glass is about as thick as Coke bottles used to be. You know, some people have glasses that thick, but typically Coke bottles is that really thick. You've got a white base, and then up the spout of the base, so like the bottle, It's really thin and about 6 inches tall. And you've got to live around it like a typical football league. Okay, so you've got a goose in here, so remember that. So here's your challenge. You've got to get the goose out of the bottle. You can't kill the goose and you can't break the bottle. Okay? Well, the answer is you imagine it out. Because you imagine it in there. So here's the deal. So you don't want to put limitations on anything that you can do. And by doing that, you have to open your eyes, your mind, and your heart. You have to open up to the things that you were presented with. The next word, which is not going to show up nicely, but that's okay, is options. You have to seek your options. They're not always going to show up at your doorstep, so you have to seek your options. You have to analyze your options, figure out which options you want to take and which options you don't want to take. And you have to exercise those options. Like I mentioned earlier, TEDxYouth, TEDx, sounds a lot better when I say that. I am an active participant. Last year, junior year, as a school, I decided, as a leader in our student council, I wanted to run for the Texas Association of Student Council's president. So I wanted to run to be the state president. So my options were, I seek those. Freshman year I saw it, I was like, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do as a school. Analyzed it, this is what we have to do, this is how we have to do that. And then I exercised it. I ran last year, I spoke in front of 5,000 people. I didn't win, but I exercised that option. So that's part of the thing. Alright, trust is the next word, I can't really see. Trust your instincts, trust the process, and trust the outcome. Now, I have to sit here and explain that I ran last year and I didn't win. But the next word is trust. I trust that the right thing that was supposed to happen was I was not supposed to win to be the president. A good friend of mine, Hayden Greer, who's from Harding Jefferson High School, won, and he was an excellent president. And I trust that he's doing a great job, that he's pulling the role quite nicely. I have to trust that every time that something doesn't exactly work out the way that I planned or foresaw happen, that I trust that that was supposed to happen. I mean, whether you're religious or not religious, I have to believe that there's a plan for everyone. And then whether it's fate, whether it's a higher power, there's a reason for every single little thing that happens. So I just have to, as I go through my life, have to trust that whatever happened was supposed to happen. The next thing is true. You have to stay true to yourself, stay true to your friends, and stay true to your values. Now, that sounds really easy at first. When you think about it, you have to stay true. What does that mean? I like to play little games like if you really knew me. So think of 3 things that if you really knew me, that people down the hall or people in your classes that you technically know, that they don't really know about you. One thing for me is my parents are divorced. A lot of people don't know that, and I don't define myself by that. And true to my other people, it's like, yes, they should know certain things about me, like, that was coming later, so anyway. Okay, so anyway, staying true to them and staying true to my values is only one way to go through life, and that's the right way, in my opinion. And so, every person's right way is different. And so if you're true to yourself and you're true to your values, the way that you will live is the right way. So if you're true to yourself, then that will happen. Protest is the next word, even though it's overlaid on the changes again. Protest your limits, protest your labels, and protest your fears. Now, throughout the course of the day, a lot of people have been talking about labels, stereotypes, being, racial prejudice. My label throughout high school, surprisingly, I don't know, for some of you maybe, I was voted most studious 4 years in a row. Me and Patrick Lou, my buddy, he's number 1 in our class, he's going to be doing a valedictorian speech, but he and I were most studious, all 4 years. And 26 people graduated in front of me in my graduating class, but for some reason, people labeled me as the most studious. I'm not protesting that, but most people have, to that sense, when you're prejudiced, like Anthony was saying, you can't go through life with that, you listen to him speak. So, protest your labels, protest your fears. You can't let your fear of losing or failing dictate what opportunities you exercise. So, I went into running for president for the Texas Association of Student Councils, going up against other people running to be like to get 5,000 votes, or half of those, or the majority of those. So you kind of have to look past the fear of that to figure out whether the outcome is worth it or not worth it. So that was kind of protesting your fears. Protesting your limits just means you may think you can go so far, but you can go further than that. And any coach will tell you that, whatever you think is your 100%, you have 20% left in you. So they'll cross-country runners say, okay, you've got on your 2 mile at 200 meters left, you may feel like you're dead tired, but sprint your butt off, and you'll make it. You can potentially beat a Shasha's cross-country star, right? So he can tell you too. All right, orient is the last word. That's an anagram from opportunities. You're going to orient your eyes, orient your mind, and orient your heart. Now, orient meaning find your direction, find your true north, find what you're passionate about, and work toward that one thing. And so, my dad tells me, keep your eye on the finish line. Now, he says, don't look at your feet because then you won't achieve your goal. Now, I partially believe this because you need to always keep your head up and keep going forward, because essentially, if you look down, you will trip over your feet. But if you're so focused on the finish line, there are so many things that can pass you by. So as long as you're oriented in the right direction or in your direction, then you can stay on that path, but at the same time I'm a little bit ADD, so you can have other things come in your path and exercise those opportunities to where if you were so focused on being number 1 in your class that you would miss out upon speaking in a TED Talk. Or, I don't know, part of this of orienting yourself, I could have just as easily surpassed this opportunity to talk here today for this TED Talk. I'm a senior. Everyone here is 2+ years younger than me, or all the speakers anyway. And instead of saying, oh no, I'm too cool for that, too cool for these, 600 people who are in the audience right now, I took this opportunity and I'm enjoying it. I wish there was a D in opportunities, but there isn't. So these are some more words that actually are in opportunities. I forgot I had this in there. So, yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, do not. I wish there were D's, so there's not. So this is do not. So do not define yourself by your hardships. I don't say, hi, my name is Courtney Smith, and my parents are divorced. That's not what I say. I don't say, hi, my name is Courtney Smith, and I had cataract surgery at 15. No, that's not relevant. You don't want to define yourself by your failures. I didn't say, hi, my name is Courtney Smith, and I lost in the presidential election for TEDxYouth last year. That's not how I introduce myself. And this is also on the do not, is do not define yourself by your successes. Now, you will see in high school, primarily speaking to you guys, in high school, the top of the school right now, or seemingly so, are the athletes. And this year's football team won the state championship. And so my argument to them is, in 15 years, are you going to wear that ring around? Or even at college, are you going to wear that ring around and say, you know what, my team won the state championship in Texas. Some things are relevant, some things are not. So do not define yourself by successes that are not relevant. Do, this PowerPoint is really nice. Okay, define yourself by your outlook. I meant to say, if I didn't, my name is Courtney Smith, and I'm really happy to be here today. I'm really happy to be here today. I'm really excited that I had the opportunity to talk to you guys. Define yourself by your ethics. Define yourself by what you're oriented toward. Define yourself by your finish line. Define yourself by your successes. Now, again, it's all the same thing. If it is relevant, define yourself by your success. But you shouldn't live in the spotlight of winning the state championship 15 years ago. So to recap, it's also supposed to go away. Open your mind and your heart and your eyes. Evaluate your options. Trust your instincts. Stay true to yourself. Protest your limits. And orient your mind. So anyway, C2A, lingo for call to action, stupid thing. When life hands you lemons, what are you guys going to do with it? So thank you.
so much for coming today. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to host this event. Our theme was listen, learn, and inspire, and I feel like that we've done all three of those. And TED is about ideas worth sharing. So share the ideas that you've heard today. Take your own ideas and share those. And share the word about TEDxYouth event at Carroll, because it's going to happen again next year.
It's along that lines. What I wanted to point out is that if we were just kids doing this, like we're not the adults. Most TEDx events are adults, are parents giving these talks. But it just shows that we're, as children, we're capable of doing this. And cross country is better than football. Thank you all for coming.